Do you resolve conflict well? Do you have any current conflicts that you have swept under the rug, hoping that it would resolve itself or disappear so you wouldn't have to face the awkward conversation about fill in the blank? Now, if you find yourself on the side of conflict where you would much rather avoid it, you would much rather conflict just don't exist at all because it's just that uncomfortable to have to deal with it, especially when it is someone that is close to your heart, someone that has influence in your life, good or bad, and it it gives you the feeling of at times. It's just so uncomfortable. It literally causes the pits of your stomach to turn over and over again, just thinking about having to have a difficult conversation with said individual or individuals. My name is Tabitha Christopher of tabithachristopher.com. My company founded the MINDstyle Makeover Bootcamp, also known as MSMBC. It is a character and resilience building training program that provides students in college, high school, and middle school with a roadmap to succeed academically, athletically, socially, and emotionally. My company also founded the Enrich Executive Women's Retreat, a bespoke, Christ centered, high ticketed experience for women leaders, innovators, and visionaries who seek profound transformation. Trailblazer, let's get into this topic of resolving conflict and owning your story. Three things. I typically would share a story, and I do want to so badly because there's so many situations I could pull from of recent that we could unpack. But the goal of this video is to provide you with tips that you can take away and implement immediately to a situation that you are facing right now. If you would like for me to share a story of recent of what I've had to do to resolve conflict, message me under this video and say story time. And I will, on our next MINDstyle Makeover Monday chat, I will pick one of those recent situations of which I had to engage a couple of these. Well, I actually engaged all of these and a couple of other strategies to help with resolving that conflict. So here are the three things that I want to share with you. If you have a situation of which you have been avoiding because you just don't know how to approach it, and you know the person very well that you have the conflict with, and you know the potential of there being pushback and resistance, and you're just not a confrontational person and you don't want to have a confrontation, right? But there is no way of you being able to control the other person's response. And that can be very unnerving. I'm very uncomfortable. I get it. Trust me. Okay. So one of the things that I've done and I still do to this day is before approaching this individual, I first go through and I ask myself the necessary questions. Is this a relationship that I absolutely want to be a part of my life's journey, present and future? Is this relationship one, has it been overwhelmingly positive or has it been consistently negative and toxic? Those are some pretty tough questions that you'll have to gauge. And you might be asking, like, well, Tabitha, are we talking like family members too? We're talking whatever your situation is, whether it's a blood relative, whether it's work related, whether it's an ex friend, whatever the case may be, right? First, ask the question: this is a relationship that you want to be a part of your present and future life. Now, when it comes to blood family, it's that's something that I would like to have a separate conversation on. Okay, and I'll share why that is in that conversation. But just to start with that, is this a relationship that has been overwhelmingly positive, and we've just had a recent misunderstanding where we're at odds with one another? A great example of that would be our recent election. There have been many relationships that have gone to the far corner of the room, turning their backs to each other because they are representing different colors of their political party, and they're not seeing eye to eye, and decided that, well, this can't be resolved because you don't see things the way I see it. But that relationship with that individual, other than that, and maybe a couple of other small things, has been overwhelmingly positive. And as the drama of the elections has been dying down slowly but surely, you're starting to think about how you reacted in that conversation with that loved one. And you are really contemplating wanting to make up, but just not sure how to make that step. So that's the first thing I would ask myself. The second thing is, before going to approach this individual, I would say unplug. Unplug from every single form of distraction. Technology, media, even relationships that have been overwhelmingly toxic, or even those that just that would side with you because they share your ideology. Just unplug from all of the bias, everything. Just unplug. Okay, and allow yourself the space to think, to invite clarity and focused thinking back into your thought process. So that's the first thing. Um, my first of the U's, I should say. Because I did say, first ask yourself the question: is this relationship one that has provided overwhelmingly positive experiences, or consistently negative toxicity? All right. And then we're going to move into the three U's. First, unplug. Unplug from any form of distraction to invite clarity and focus back into your thought process. The second U, unite with sound counsel that carries no bias towards you or that individual. And then lastly, deepen your understanding of the greater picture that's beyond the present conflict, to help you from separating what was said as your identity, or what the conflict is as your worth and value. So again, unplug from all distractions, invite clarity and focus back into your thought process, unify with sound counsel that shares no bias with you or the other person or anyone else. Then three, deepen your understanding of the greater picture beyond the present conflict, to help you in separating your identity, your worth and value, that person's identity, their worth and value, their character. Okay, because oftentimes we can get so hot and heated and bothered so quickly, we react to something that was said, and we judge each other harshly for a moment of differences in ideology. but the character of that individual is one that has that stands heads and shoulders above that disagreement that you had. This person's character is what drew you to them and kept you in relationship for however long the time has been. I would encourage you to implement these 3 U's: unplug, unite, and then deepen your understanding of the bigger picture beyond the present challenge, which would invite in the conversation of legacy. Life is short. Life is short, and we can walk around holding on to a whole bunch of baggage and against individuals that, my goodness, we had one spat. Again, what I'm sharing with you, this is, you're dealing with a relationship that has provided overwhelming positivity in your life, in your personal growth or professional growth, and that's what drew you to them. And you would like to continue on that path, right? I would encourage you not to allow for whatever momentary conflict or disagreement that was had to weigh your judgment against that person's character, one of which you yourself, based on your choice of inviting them into your life, right? Whether it was personally or professionally, your choice to invite them into your life journey and story was for good reason. So to consider that as you implement these 3 tips: unplug, unite, deepen your understanding. I hope that helps. And if it did, and you would, and if it did, let me know. Say yes, want more. And if you're like, give us a real life scenario of what you faced, what conflict that I had to face, and what I did to go about in resolving that conflict. I want to throw in this bonus here. You may move forward to do all of these tips and approach that individual, get all the wise counsel that you need to approach them with a cool, clear head and thoughts of clarity and compassion. And that individual may not be ready to resolve it. Again, you can't control their reaction. But the whole goal of providing this information to you is that you enter into that conversation with a sound mind, so that when you transition to the next moment, you are not living in a state of regret. Oh, I shouldn't have said it that way. Or I should have mentioned X, Y, and Z. I should not have held back in explaining how X, Y, and Z made me felt when they said this or when they did that, right? So this is just to provide you the space, the time that you are going to need to gather your thoughts and to lead with compassion when you do take the steps forward to resolving that conflict. That's it for our MINDstyle Makeover Monday chat. I look forward to chatting with you all soon. And again, if you want a real life example, just put story time in the comments below. And then I will put that into our chat notes for MINDstyle Makeover Monday to share with you a recent conflict and what steps I took to resolving it. See you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.